Okay, so from there we can start. So music problems. Okay, so Kaiser is between you, Kara, and Azer. Broderick and Udodak, you're watching this scene unfolding, and of course, Enzo, you're in the room just kind of watching all this going on. Kaiser puts up both his hands between you, Kara, and Azer, and he says, "Hold up, hold up, hold up! You must calm down. We must not. We don't have any time to waste. We have to go see the Dragon Council as soon as possible." And he's looking back and forth between you, Kara, and Azer, and he's giving Broderick a look as in like, "Come on, you gotta help me out here. I'm trying to get these guys under control." He's giving you that sort of look.
Gee, I'm just gonna look at him coldly still.
Nobody wants to do what he says. I will jump behind the angel's back and hope that Acer attacks him.
Wait, so hold on, Kara, you're gonna do what?
Very much a grapple, which I know sucks for me.
Are you gonna grapple him?
Yes.
Okay, do a strength check. You try to grapple the angel, however, his wings are too wide, so you end up just kind of like scrambling on top of him, and you fall back onto your butt. Kaiser looks back at you, and he gives you a very shocked look, and he begins to take a few steps back, and he says, "I don't wish to fight you. I don't know why you're acting this way, but it is very unusual of your character." And he's taking some steps back into the room that you had woke up in. At this point, the ground beneath you begins to shake, and I want everyone to take a dexterity save, please. Okay, Kara, as the ground is shaking, you are unbalanced and you end up falling down the stairs all the way down to the room that you were in before. You don't take any damage, but you end up going all the way to the bottom as the ground is shaking, and it's shaking very violently. You feel that it's kind of like a mini earthquake. Kaiser holds on to the wall as he's trying to steady himself, and he says, "You see, we really do not have a lot of time, and we should really stop this nonsense as soon as possible and get to the Dragon Council. Our time is diminishing."
I look at him and I say, "Then lead. I don't trust you behind me."
You don't trust them behind you? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Well, I can do that, but what about the rest of your friends? They don't look very, looking over at Broderick, friendly.
I'm sure they'll follow behind us a little ways, but...
Very well. He walks past you, Azer, and goes over to Broderick and Udodak.
How close is he?
He's walking towards you. He's about, like, let me see, 10 feet away?
Okay, when he steps within about 10, I guess 7 feet, I'll stick the table leg club that I have, kind of just point it forward and say, "No closer."
Okay, he tries to get closer, and if you put out your table leg. He gives out an oof as the table leg jabs into his stomach. And the music's gone. Just a second. I don't know what happened.
Nice.
Okay, he gives an oof, and the fairy dragon on your shoulder gets a little bit spooked and decides to get inside of your clothing. And he kind of goes around your body a few times and ends up in the small of your back. So the fairy dragon is inside your clothing now. Kaiser says, "Look, I know you don't speak a lot, but I need you to understand that this isn't coming from me, and that I have my orders to carry out. And I want to ask you to come with me."
Just walked into my table like, okay. I don't know. I guess I'll just kind of... I'll bring the table leg back, and then point it kind of over his shoulder, like this way, and say, "Alright, lead then."
Very well. He starts calling out, Enzo, over there, can you hear me? Are you going to be coming with us?
I get up and I start moving towards Kaiser.
And, Udodak, what of you?
At this moment, I don't know who to trust, so I just stay quiet and I follow the people that I came with.
I know, it's a little confusing. Okay. Very well, and he starts walking back. Kind of circumvents around Azer because he doesn't want to get hit. He looks down the stairs and he says, Kara, are you in need of some assistance? Are you okay?
I will just point my finger up and just say, fuck off.
Well, she's as spicy as ever, isn't she?
And
Oh, very well.
I'll drag myself
do you need some
up.
help? Okay.
Not from you.
Kaiser turns around and whispers to Azer, I think your girlfriend is in need of some help.
I just raised my eyebrow to say, no, she handles herself very well.
Okay. Well, very well. And he walks past you. Excuse me. And he goes into the middle of a hallway with red carpet. Turns around. And he says, "Well, when you're all ready, I'll take you to the dragon room." Udodak, are you able to move your character? Can you see him?
Yep.
Okay. Just making sure.
I only see black.
You only see black? That's
Yeah.
not right.
Like everywhere on the map is black except for my character and what the angel whenever he was standing next to me.
You can't see any light at all?
Nope, not anymore.
Let me see.
Did you give his character lighting?
Let me see something. You should be able to see. Let me check the settings.
The only light I saw was whenever the Kaiser came next to me. Like I can see my character just fine, but everywhere else is black.
Can you see in the hallway or anything at all?
No. Oh, now I can see the hallway.
Now you can see it? Okay, good. Alright. Kaiser begins walking down this long hallway. And on this walk down, you see multiple portraits lined up against the wall. Some portraits are of Kaiser, some of them are of different types of dragons. You see some portraits of all of you within a deep slumber. Some pictures of your past, of some places that you had been when you were children, growing up, and even a picture from you when you were in Greenest. As you're walking down this hallway, you approach a large metal door, depicted with many different types of dragons. Kaiser turns around, and he says to you all, in a very dignified voice, he says, "Are you all ready to see the council?"
I just have one quick thing. How big are these portraits?
These portraits are about, like, not life size, but they're pretty big portraits. They're about like 2 feet wide by like 3 feet long.
You've been stalking us, Kaiser?
It's what?
I asked Kaiser, so you've been stalking us?
He says, "Oh no, on the contrary, actually. We've just been, well, I guess in a way, it's not really stalking, but these are from moments in the past in which, well, I really should keep my mouth shut, but that's really something more you want to ask Dragon Council. It's not me necessarily, so to say, but yeah, he's very vague about it."
I grabbed the one of me sleeping.
You what?
I grabbed the one of me sleeping.
Okay. So you're just, okay, so you're carrying around a giant, not giant, but a big portrait of yourself sleeping.
Yep, as I'm walking around.
He turns around and knocks on the door. And as he does so, the doors swing open, and a rush of air immediately sweeps past you. And he begins to walk in. "Well, here we are." And as you walk,
deep.
yeah, she just like ran straight inside. As you walk into the room, you walk into an opened ceiling, which means that there is no ceiling. You can see the sky. It's a bright blue sky with some white clouds. There are dragons just all around the room. You see, but there are 3 dragons in particular that are larger than any other ones. There is a large blue dragon on the right, a large 5-headed multicolored dragon on the left, and in front of you there is a large white dragon. And around all these dragons, there's just a bunch of different dragons. There's a white dragon, a black dragon, a red dragon, a bronze-colored one, a silver-colored one, a gold-colored one. However, one thing that you must note when you're coming in is that a lot of these dragons don't seem to be moving. Whenever you come in, they don't turn. They all seem to have their heads down on their what's it called? On their paws. Sort of kind of apathetic looking. And the only one that notices your presence when you walk in is a large white dragon that is directly in front of you. Kaiser is walking down the red carpet, and he walks all the way up onto a platform. And addressing the white dragon, he says, "Volaire, I have come with the group as you had commanded. Are my services of any more need?" Volaire looks at the angel, and he says, No. Your services are done. You may now do whatever you may please, and I dismiss you." The angel says, "Okay, all right, very well. Then I will take my place back next onto your side and await for further orders." As you're walking into the room, the white dragonborn, not the white dragonborn, the white dragon lifts up his head and begins to address you. Welcome. My name is Volair, son of Io and sibling to both Bahamut and Tiamat. Seems like you have already gotten yourself well acquainted with my right hand and assistant Kaiser. He looks over at Broderick and Kodovak. Sorry, I'm trying to memorize the name. Udovak. Sorry, Udodak. Sorry. And he says, "It is good to see you are both awake again and walking amongst us. As for the rest of you, this is our first time meeting. What are your names?"
I say I am Enzo Dargus. This I point to Kaiser and say he should know all about me.
Well, that is a mighty boastful accusation. Needless to say, we have been watching you carefully. Though one thing we don't know is your names. We know some things about you, but not everything.
Why have you been watching us?
We have. It's not us that have been watching you, but more so the denizen of this planet that have been keeping close tabs on you. You are of great importance, and though your presence is one that would have been of most one to celebrate, it is also one of an unfortunate tale. Needless to say, we'll talk about that in a minute. How about the rest of you? What are your names?
I just I'm Razor. Pleased to meet you, great one.
Lagging a bit. What was that?
I would bow and say, my name is Azer. I'm pleased to meet you, great one.
He bows his head and he says, "Oh, thank you, Azer. It's nice to meet you as well. And what about your friends? What are your names?"
I bow my head, keeping my shield to the side, but without making eye contact, and just keep my head bowed.
Would I know his name by now?
Yeah, he said his name was Volair. I'll spell it out.
No, I meant Udodak. Would I know him? Know his name?
Yes, you know him by now.
Okay. Yeah, I point over to Udodak and say, "That's Udodak."
Nice to meet you, Udodak, and he gives you a bow.
I don't raise my head, I just keep my head bowed.
It seems we have a couple of shy ones. Come in, addressing Kara and Broderick.
I'll cast minor illusion to create a voice and say, "I am quite fine over here." As close over there as possible.
He gives a sensible chuckle. Oh, well, she's a shy one, isn't she? Hope. Well, what about you, oh dwarf?
Is the room gonna echo if I talk from here?
It'll give a slight echo.
Okay, well then I'm gonna yell to make it louder and say, I'm not going anywhere near a fucking dragon.
I instantly turn around.
Volair gives another sensible chuckle. Oh, you're all quite a curious group indeed. Two shy ones, and as he says this, the ground begins to shake again. Everyone make a dexterity save once more.
I look at Volair and ask, "What's going on?" as I shake and keep my balance.
Everyone is able to keep their balance except for Broderick. Broderick, you end up landing on your butt, and in doing so, you actually kind of sit on the fairy dragon a little bit, and it gives you a little nibble, a little bite on your back as a reaction.
Alright, I'm gonna stay sitting.
You're just gonna continue to sit. Okay, so you're sitting on top of the fairy dragon. He's like trying desperately to free himself. So he's like clawing himself on your back and biting you all over the place.
Well, if he can't get himself out, I mean, it's his loss.
Volair, it doesn't. This earthquake doesn't phase Volair at all. He continues to look at all of you, and he looks up to the sky, and he says, "It seems that our time is coming to a close. Well, Azer, Enzo, Kara, Broderick, and hold on, Udokak. I'm not looking at the page. I'm looking at a document. It is nice to meet all of you. It's quite an extraordinary event to see you awake in my presence. To answer your question, Enzo, that earthquake, that shudder, is exactly why I have need of you here. All of us here in this room are part of the Dragon Council of the land of Elysia. That lead and rule over everything that you can see and touch in and out of these castle walls. Though you see many dragons in this room, the true leaders of this council are myself and my siblings, Bahamut and Tiamat. Or at least that would be the case, if not for their slumber. And he points with his snout. He kind of points at the entire room. You see, everyone here is in a deep, sleep-like trance, and absolutely nothing can be done to wake them up. The event that has befallen all of us standing in this room can only occur once the proper circumstance has been met. And it is unfortunate to say that that circumstance is death.
What do you mean by death?
Well, in order to come here, you must die in another world. And once you die, your soul is recycled here. And vice versa, if you were to die here, then your soul will be recycled into a new form of life in the original world. So to sum things up, all of you, myself, and Kaiser here, have all died at one point. Though I'm curious, your presence is actually quite premature. How is it that you have died, and in a manner so organized? You're all here, all at one time. I only expected you all to be here one at a time, but something must have happened. Some unfortunate event to have brought you all here to my presence, into this world.
They gave us a potion! I scream.
A potion? Describe this to me. Curious.
And so you handle this. That's my delegate.
I roll my eyes at Kara, and I pull out the vial, and I show the vial to Voltaire.
Well, you don't actually have anything on your person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I will say it was a dark black liquid that we all drank drop of.
I'll cast minor illusion again to make it look. Not trying to fool them, but trying to give it representation.
Okay, so you're making an illusion of the vial, right?
Yeah, it's like floating there.
Okay. Volair looks at this vial, this illusion of the vial. Interesting. So, you committed suicide?
I look at the group and I look at Valère and I say, I don't know, are we dead?
Well, you're here, so it means you have died. I'm curious as to why you decided to give up your life. The most purest and wonderful things to ever be given to any sort of being.
I didn't take my life. Do I remember why we took the The potion I forgot.
You wanted to know some great truth. Also, Erisys and Broderick kind of peddled it off on you.
Okay. We didn't commit suicide. We were told it would show us a great truth or something. If we drank that
And
bottle.
great truth indeed. I guess there's no greater truth than knowing what comes, than knowing what comes after you have died. You end up here, in Elysia. It disturbs me knowing that you had decided to take your own lives. And for that, I do feel a little bit of sorrow for you. And you see the dragon begin to tear up a little bit.
I asked Valer, if we're dead, does that mean that I point to Kaiser? Kaiser's dead as well.
That is indeed true. My assistant here is dead. Though I remember my death. But a quite odd thing is that Kaiser here does not know how he died. As for myself, I was killed, murdered by my sister Tiamat very many eras ago. Though she had transgressed such an action onto me, I do not hold any abhor against her, and actually look forward to the day when I may speak to her once more. Though I'm still curious as to why she decided to had killed me those many years ago. As for Kaiser here, Kaiser speaks up for himself. He says, I can take it from here. Kaiser says, I don't remember how I died. I honestly don't know. One moment I was alive, and the next moment I'm here. It's quite a mystery indeed. Maybe you know more of this?
I look at Kaiser and I look at Valer. I tell them, something's not adding up. Because from where we're from, I point at Kaiser, he's our enemy. Been trying to kill us.
He put us on ice for 20 years.
Valer and Kaiser kind of exchange looks, and they look at you very confused. It seems that that vial did a lot more to your memory than you suspect. That's not possible.
I yell emphatically. It didn't do anything to our memories. I remember it clearly and vividly, the 20 years I was stuck in ice because of that asshole.
Such language.
If I had my book right now, I would burn the wings off that angel.
Kaiser kind of looks all at you, Enzo, and Kara. He has a very horrified look on his face. And he kind of recedes back a couple of steps. And he says, no, I did nothing to you. This is actually the first time I've seen you. Why would you make such accusations onto me? Valer says, calm down, Kaiser. I believe you. Neither of us are capable of lying. Lying is something that only those of a just cause and an unjust cause are capable of doing. We prefer to remain on a neutral path. Neither of us have anything to do with these illusions that you're having of another world.
I yell out to Valer. These aren't illusions, are the lives that we lived before we died, apparently. We are speaking the truth as well.
The ground begins to shake again. Everyone make a dex save once more, except for Broderick, because you're already on the ground.
Totally worth it.
Unless you want to, which might cause something funny to happen.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. This time, Udodak, you fall over, because you're not able to maintain your balance, and you kind of clash onto the left side onto the floor, and you hear a very loud ring through the room before it echoes off into the sky. Fuller looks around and looks up at the sky, and once more he says, well, looks like our time is coming much closer to an end. He looks at all of you and says, do you want to see what's going on?
I say yes. I want to know what's going on in this world and the next world.
Well, I'm not sure about the world that you came from, but I can show you what's going on in this world. He flattens himself out onto the floor, and he says, "If you want to see, then get on my back."
Falgor!
I will walk over and climb onto his back.
Who the hell are you?
Is anyone else choosing to go on his back?
I will spit on the floor next to Kaiser.
Next to Azer?
No,
Kaiser?
Kaiser, yeah.
Kaiser just looks at the spit and looks up at you, and he says, "Well, I see someone hasn't brushed their teeth in a while. I'll help you with that, Kara."
Yeah. I'll brush my teeth with your bones.
He kind of gives a horrified look and looks down at the spit again, not able to say much more. Fuller puts out his wings and he begins to fly up into the sky.
As he's flying up in the sky, I drop the note that Kaiser gave me. Kaiser.
Or no? Oh, you don't have a note. You don't have anything at all.
Oh yeah.
Except for your
Okay.
clothes.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Then. Never mind.
Okay, you should be able to see this, right?
Yeah.
He flies high above a castle. And just on the horizon, or to the south, you see a very large, ominous black-gray cloud just quickly approaching towards the castle. You also see around the castle there is a city, and in the middle of the city there is a giant chain that goes up into the sky and just keeps on going and going and going until it's out of sight.
What are these things?
He looks. He as you're flying, he says, "This is Elysia, the world of Elysia, and that cloud, whether a cause of or from you're awake, you're being awake from a slumber, is one of great importance. It seems we don't know what caused it. We don't know why it's here, but it happened as soon as your friends Broderick and Udokak, trying to remember the name, Udodak. Sorry, your friends Broderick and Udodak had first awakened, and as soon as the rest of you awakened, this cloud had intensified in its aggression and is quickly coming towards us." He flies back down into the castle, into his original spot. And lays his head and wings down so that he can climb off.
I walk back to where I was, keeping my distance away from Tiamat.
I look at Broderick and Udodak and I say, those two have drank from the potion before, and they went to another world as well, and they were brought back. Is this the same? Are we going to be brought back?
Now, that is an answer of most curiosity. I do not know if you will go back to this other world. If you might just stay here for the rest of your lives, I do not know. This is something that I've never been in contact in my experiences before. Going to death and coming back again is not something that seems possible. Though it seems as if your friends have somehow cheated death.
Why us? Why have you kept us here and kept watch over us?
It is not I who have kept you here, and nor should you assume that it is specifically you. I mean, the representation of you that's kept here. By that I mean that although your body made it look like this. You had actually gone through several different forms, physical forms. The only part of you that we had kept here is your soul, and with each time that you were born and reborn, your shape has changed multiple times. A long time ago, the Denizen had made a prophecy about you, and now it seems that that prophecy is coming true.
What is this prophecy?
That's something that I wish I had more knowledge of. The only parts of the prophecy that I know is that one day all of you would awaken at one time and cause a series of unfortunate, malevolent events to occur, of which I think this may be it. The earth, the ground begins to shake once more. Everyone make a dex save, please.
So I'm doing that deck save. Can I do a perception check on the two guys, the blue guy and the red guy that look like furries with weapons?
Blue guy and the red guy. Oh, you want to make a perception? Yes, you can make a perception.
Wow, that failed.
My deck save.
And so you end up just completely falling head over heels, and you like roll off of the platform a couple of times and bump into the snout of Tiamat on the left side. Like you bump into the red head of Tiamat, and your head just kind of like bumps against her mouth. That one. Yeah, that's Tiamat. Her slumbering head you're resting against her slumbering head, and she begins to salivate all over your head. So you're just covered in like just dragon saliva.
Quickly get up and like swat off all the slime off of me.
Kara, as for your perception, you don't notice anything particularly odd about them. However, you do notice that they have similar exact forms to Kaiser, except for a different color scheme.
Are they asleep?
Yeah, they're asleep.
Do they have weapons on them?
No. I know it looks like they do, but they don't.
That's okay. That's it.
Hold on, can you give me a 5-minute break? I have to go use the restroom. I'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Yep.
We can just roleplay between each other.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Oh, the wizards. You were white and now you're black. Who the hell are you?
About that. Well, apparently I was with you guys since the beginning.
Yeah. I said I was gonna play it off like us not knowing you.
Yeah,
I think he changed it because it would have sounded like weird.
Yeah, you took over Eris's role, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works because Eris is supposed to be my half brother. I don't know if you're my half.
He said he was gonna be like an NPC or something.
Yeah, he's like still back at the keep.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I'm not like replacing him. I'm just replacing him in the party, and he's back at the keep.
Got it.
So we can just pretend we met him at the keep or something?
Sure.
I guess that works, right?
I have a backstory, but I don't know if he has already written one for me.
No, you make your own.
Okay. When I said 5 minutes, I lied. I meant a lost in that. Is everyone here, or?
We're just stating how we were gonna play off us knowing him.
Okay. Oh, your backstory. You have your own backstory.
Okay, cool.
Which I will integrate.
Alright. Then I will after this session I will write it in the bio then.
Okay, that's good, and then I'll look it over and I'll start putting that into the game. Yeah, Eris is still your half brother, Enzo. Like none of that has changed. All of that happened before. Is staying like that.
So we're just gonna pretend that Udotag was left with us in front of keep?
Yeah, we're just gonna pretend that it was a party of 7 instead of party of 6 the entire time.
So he was frozen?
Yeah, so Udotag has been there since the beginning. We just don't have any development with him yet.
Oh, so he does know why. He was there for the orphan stuff. Alright, good.
Yeah, you were there for everything. It's just that Aether decided that he had enough with all this and just kind of stayed behind at the keep.
You probably
instead
hit
of
your
coming
head
with
and
you
you
guys.
don't remember that well.
Amnesia.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see, where did I leave off?
And oh, by the way, I am a follower of Bahamut.
You have a follower of a what?
I'm a follower of Bahamut.
Bahumus.
Hmm. That's a little odd because you're a black dragonborn and usually like
I know, and I devoured my my whole like paladin. This is like part of my backstory. My whole paladin is to bring good to the black dragon race, and Tiamat is like my mortal enemy. I hate him.
So you hate this white guy.
Her. Tiamat's a female.
yeah, it's a female. But yeah, okay, I got you, which makes sense. I'll look at your
And
bio.
that's why I'm a
finish it.
paladin.
So you want to bring good to the black dragon is going to be like, we're good, not all of us are evil, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like not all of us are stereotypically bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, that makes sense. See, where did I leave off?
It'll make more sense when you read my backstory.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I mean, it already makes sense now. I'm just like, okay, you know, that makes complete sense why you're paladin and what you're trying to fight for, and that'll fit in with the story just fine. Where did I leave off?
I
Right,
said
okay,
it the perfect one.
Valere looks at all of it and he says, "Oh, how I wish that we could have celebrated your presence, though it is one of most fear and anticipated danger. And I apologize that your presence here is one that cannot be celebrated."
Why did you keep us here if you prophesized that we would bring about calamity?
Well, it is not you that brought the calamity, but some third party. And we kept you here because you're going to be the ones to save us. You are the prophesied saviors that will free us from whatever is to come.
I ask him, could the third party be a different version of him? And I point to Kaiser.
I do not know. That was not prophesied as to what had caused it. But I do hope that whatever it is, that you will aid us. It is not in my nature to force anything upon you, but given the situation, I do want to ask if you will lend us, the entire of Elysia, your strength, and free us from whatever it is to come.
I ask him, if we do this, would you help us in our world?
That is not possible, young one. My ties remain here, and I cannot cross over to the living once I had died. But I will do my best to give you any information, if it becomes relevant.
Ahorita.
I look at the group and say, well, I don't know about everyone else, but I will try my best.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that. At least we have one savior on our side, and for that is at least the very least that I could ask for. Thank you, Enzo.
Yeah, sure. We'll join whatever crusade you got. Just send us back.
I pull out my
There's
sword and
there's
hold.
one condition. This will involve having to work with my assistant here, Kaiser.
And how will we work with him if we return to our world?
That is something that I'm going to have to say that you are going to have to talk to the denizen. Whatever this thing is that's approaching us, I'm sure that hiding within the denizen's lair will give you safety from what is about to happen to us. Kaiser speaks up and he says, "Yeah, you know, I'm not sure if I." The Volair says to him, but you must. And I trust that you will help guide these saviors uh, in the right direction and provide any wisdom that they may need. Kaiser kind of looks back at Kara and Broderick and Enzo, and he says, okay? He's very scared.
I look at Volaire and say, I would ask that Kaiser follow our every order and does as we say, or else it may bring about more calamity.
He gives you a little bit of a perplexed look. Volaire does, and he says to you, "Unfortunately, the only person that he's allowed to take orders from is me."
And I ask Volaire to give order Kaiser follow my orders. Well, for the time being.
And why is it that you wish to have such dominance over my servant?
I tell him, because from where I come from, this man is not to be trusted, and I don't know if I can trust him with our party, unless he's following my orders.
Kaiser, what do you think of this? Kaiser looks at all of you, and he says, well, I'm not going to cause you any harm, but I also do not like the idea of being under your leadership either. I do not wish to do any sort of bad deeds. So on this, I just have to go with your best judgment, Volaire. If you wish for me to serve under Enzo, then I shall. Volaire looks at Enzo and he says, but you must promise me that if he does serve under you, you will not force his hand to commit any rights, no wrongs. He is to remain pure and neutral. Can you do that?
I bow down and say, you have my word.
Now let me emphasize on this. If you force his hand to commit an act of right or an act of wrong, you will change his very purity, and he might very well become something that I cannot control.
Then why are we bringing him?
I nod, say okay. I
Kaiser,
understand.
Enzo is to be your guardian, so to speak. And Kaiser looks at you, Enzo, and gives you a fearful look. Gives you a half-crooked, like a forced half-crooked smile. And a very nervous laugh, like, ha, ha, ha.
I give him a very grin.
Okay.
Now, Kaiser, remember never to lose your way. No matter how strong the wind may blow, may your roots keep you on the ground. He holds out a wing, and to the entire group he says, I wish unto you my blessing. You must only grab onto my wing to take my blessing.
I will grab it.
Just him or everybody?
It's everybody. Alright, so Kara, Enzo, Doc, Azer's kind of playing with the purple dragon. Oh, okay. And Broderick, you're still over there, just kind of looking inside, right?
Yep.
Okay. As soon as all four of you touch Volaire, you feel a sense of warmth, completely like vibrate through your entire body. It feels as if like warm chocolate, as if you had just eaten like hot chocolate, and so your entire being is just vibrating with this warmth, and you feel a sort of happiness going through your being. As soon as you let go, Volaire looks at Enzo in the eye. You see, like he cranes his head over. It's like his giant, like huge eyeball is just looking at you, and he says, Enzo, you in particular, I must stress something onto you as well. Same as I had stressed onto Kaiser. Don't lose your way. Though you may fall into temptation, and though something may look good in the outcome, I plead to you, or not plead, but I warn you, not to follow it.
I shrug it off and say, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's okay. In time. Looking at Carrie, he says, and you? Well, I guess there's not really much to say to you, except to maybe give your friends a little bit easier of a time.
Well, they love being with me.
Aether, you continue being adorable.
I go back to fighting the purple dragon.
And Udodoc, I don't have much about what you've done so far, but he says to you, may you support your friends in thick and thin, and whatever may come, to make the right decision.
I draw my blade, and then hold my blade to my chest and put my shield over it, and I nod.
he gives a sensible chuckle. Oh, he looks up into the sky, and you see a dark black grayish cloud begin to cloud over the sky. And from the sky, you see kind of like ash, like an ashy looking rain falling down, kind of like snowflakes, but it's ash, slowly raining down on everything. Kaiser looks at everyone in Volair and he says, "Well, I think this means we gotta go."
Yo, what's the
And
way?
he starts walking towards the exit.
I follow.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Okay, as they approach, I stand up.
As you guys are walking out, and let me move a little further along. You hear Volair calling out to you, all of you, and he says, "My children, take care, and never forget that I love all of." And he stops in his tracks. He stops mid sentence. If you whenever you look at Volair, you see that his very being had became completely solidified and frozen.
Neat.
Yeah, it's just a dragon.
That's just a horrible shroom-induced potion. Just can't wait to wake up from this horrible nightmare.
Kaiser says, "Well, I suppose that's it. Let's go."
I ask Kaiser, where are we going?
We're going to the Denizen, and he begins to walk out the door. Right before reaching the door, however, you hear a laugh emanating from the room. You hear a laugh that goes, "Oh," and this laugh is very loud and screechy, and you hear it emanating from the room, and you see a figure begin to walk out from behind Volair, and rubbing his hand along his wings as he's walking to the front, and then settling at the base of Volair's head, and he begins to touch him, like on the head, rather slowly.
I knew a
Well.
clown was the enemy.
The what?
I knew a clown was the enemy the whole time.
He leans in towards Volair and gives him a good lick on the head. He goes, tastes fresh. And then he looks at all of you from out of the corner of his eye. Well, what are you waiting for? Leave. And he begins to get out some rope and putting the rope around Volaire. Oh, this is perfect. Just what I've always wanted. The beginning to a great plan.
Nice, Kaiser.
And one that I must say, will fall through this time.
Nice, Kaiser. Who is that?
Kaiser looks looks mortified, and he says, I don't know. I've never seen him before. And he shouts out, "Hey, who are you?" The clown in the distance. Let me give you a description of this clown. This clown is a very tall clown. He looks maybe about 8 feet tall, and he's very white set, and he has alternating patterns of black and white. You also see that he's holding a sort of like a club with some clown-like features on it, and he's wearing like a sort of like a jester-ish sort of outfit. He turns around and he says, "Oh, how rude! Come to the main party, and I haven't even introduced myself." He begins to walk up closer, and as he's walking closer, you notice that he is that there is this line of the ash that's falling from the sky. He's walking on the side that the ash is falling on, and the closer he gets to you, the closer the ash begins to approach you guys.
I yell to the group, "We don't have any weapons. We can't fight this guy. Let's go."
Nah, I've been like, nope, not dealing with this shit.
I look at
And
Kaiser and say,
Sorry.
I look at Kaiser and say, "Show us the way, quick. Let's go before this guy does anything worse to our group."
Yeah, giant dragons, angel
whoops.
that is not Kaiser from our world, and homicidal clowns. Guys, I'm not dealing with this right now.
Kaiser is like frozen in fear. Well, actually, let me roll for that.
Great. If he kills
Yep,
Kaiser, that'll be great.
Kaiser is looking at this, and he's just completely frozen in fear.
I run down and grab him. I like just full on just football tackle him and just run.
Just leave him.
Are you picking him up?
Yep.
Roll strength.
Strength check or save?
Check.
Nope.
You try to pick him up, and in the process of trying to pick him up, you actually end up falling onto the floor, and yeah, you're on the floor rolling around, and you kind of hit your head a little bit, and you're a little bit dizzy, so you can't quite see straight.
I slap Kaiser hard in the face, and I like hold his face to look at my face only, and I say, "I am your leader now. Follow my orders. Lead us to where we need to go, and help Udodak up."
Okay, charisma with advantage, because that's actually pretty good.
Where's my charisma? Is it persuasion?
Yeah, persuasion, because you're persuading him to do something. So yes.
Right.
Okay, he snaps out of it. He looks at you and he says, "Okay, we gotta go," and he begins to run down the hallway. And then he stops and he says, "Wait, everyone, just hold on to a part of my body." And he holds out his arms and his legs for all of you to latch on to something.
Grab on.
While all of this is going on, the clown is saying stuff. So I'll say what he was saying while all of you guys were doing that. The clown is walking towards you and he says, "Oh, everything seems to be going just as planned. Honk, honk. My name is Vantus. And don't worry, I'll take good care of your friend here." And he gives out a whistle. After the whistle, you don't know what because you can't see from where you're at, but the dragon begins to begin being lifted up by the ropes, and Valer is lifted up from where he is, and you see him go out of sight as he goes into the sky. At this exact same moment, the clown begins to rush at you, and after all of you had put your grasp onto Kaiser, the world around you begins to shift, and you are now in a new room. So let me fix that.
I didn't put my hand on Kaiser.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh, you're screwed.
Bye-bye, Broderick. Bye-bye.
Okay, well, everyone but Broderick.
Yeah, an angel or homicidal clan? I'd grab an angel.
Were you trying to, or are you just choosing not to?
No, from my perspective, why am I going to trust the villain of my own world?
Okay, I got you. I'm just making sure that it was because you chose not to, and not because you didn't have enough time.
Also, what I have, because my studies before traveling would have been on both like my race, the artifact orb, and also my race's mortal enemies, which includes dragons. Would I have knowledge that a white dragon is evil?
No.
Okay.
You have heard about a white dragon existing a long time ago. However, there is not enough information that you have learned to regard anything about him.
Okay.
So you know he existed at one point, but you don't know what he did, what he represents. Kind of like everyone knows Bahamut represents, righteousness, and Tiamat is like evil, right? But you don't know any of that about Valer. Alright, so everyone, if you put your attention to the right of where you just were, you should be able to see where you are now.
Ask Kaiser, where are we?
He says, oddly enough, we're not that far away from where that thing is. What was his name? Bantus? You see that giant thing there? And he's pointing towards the giant, orb in front of you. That is how we get to the denizen.
Is there any special word or key or something?
Yeah, you see these symbols on the ground?
Oh, god damn it.
In order to open it, we need all of us to stand on one of these symbols. Broderick, you see a giant clown thing rushing towards you.
Okay.
Will you like to do anything?
All right. Yeah, I fish out the fair dragon. Then I release it in the direction behind me, and then I ready my makeshift club.
When you say behind you, in which direction do you mean?
Not the direction with the clown.
Okay, that direction. Okay. The clown is running towards you, and he says, "Well, they seem to have left you behind. I'm gonna get you now, dwarf." Honk! And he comes up to you.
All right,
within
I'll
5
hit
feet of
him.
you now. Okay.
Perfect.
I will scream to Kaiser, get
Give
the
me a
dwarf.
I tell Kaiser, do we need Broderick?
Yes, we do.
I say, quick, if you can go get him, grab him as quick as you can and escape. Don't try to take on the clown.
Okay.
Is the table leg considered an improvised weapon, or does it just count as a club?
It's an improvised weapon considered to be a club because it's 1d20 plus strength,
Okay.
and then whatever, and then roll a 1d4.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm proficient with table legs.
Okay. You know what the weird thing is that you actually are able to hit him, even though it's a low number.
Yeah, because his stupid ass outfit doesn't give him any armor.
That's actually very true. Okay, roll 1d4. Plus 3? Where'd you get the 3 from? Oh,
Strength.
Strength, that's right. Okay. Okay, you whack the clown as high as you can hit him. You can only hit up to his knee, so you hit him on the knee, and he stops and he says, "Ow, ow, 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 ow," and he begins grabbing his knee and hopping around in a circle. Well, why you? I'm gonna get you for this. And as soon as that happens, you feel a hand grabbing you from behind, and the world around you rematerializes, and you are now with your friends. There we go. Kaiser says to you, Broderick, so, do you normally like to hit clowns on the knees?
I don't know. Let me hit you first.
I'd rather not. The fairy dragon is flying around, because Kaiser had grabbed the fairy dragon as well. And the fairy dragon bites you on the neck, Broderick, and then begins to burrow itself into your clothes again, into its rightful spot, right at the small of your back.
Sure.
I tell Broderick, we need to stand on one of these things to go to the denizen. The spot.
Okay, I look at you dumbfounded for a second, then burst out laughing. And then through my laughter, I say, "You're gonna trust these fools? A dragon and this man? Sodding idiot!"
I look at him and say, what other choice do we have? Do you have any way to explain any of this?
I don't trust any of them, Broderick. But I prefer being over here than being with that creepy ass clown.
You hear a laughter coming from the south. You hear, "Oh, I'm coming to get you."
I tell Broderick, right now, all I know is that we don't have any weapons, that clown is out to get us, and this is our only way to escape.
By the wizards, Broderick, stand on the spot, or I'll force you there.
Go for it.
I tell Kaiser, get Broderick onto one of these altars.
He says to you,
Ready my attack action.
He says to you, "That is an affair that is amongst both of you. I cannot force other people against their will."
He's not right in his mind. It wouldn't be considered force. You're just helping him.
I look at Kaiser and say, this isn't against, this is for the better of our group, for the good of the people. We need him to be on the altar right now. Do what's best for us.
Make a charisma check. Persuasion check, I mean.
I'll give him my 18. On my divination. I gave him the 18.
You're gonna, okay.
Plus the 4 you got, that's a 22.
He says to you, and he says, "If you think Volar had told me to follow you, though I am telling you now that upon doing this, you are telling me to make a righteous act, but I'll do it." Kaiser reaches out at Broderick, and he says,
Alright, cool, I hit him.
"Okay, roll for it." You try to hit him with the club, but the club actually misses his head, and in doing so, Kaiser makes contact with your elbow, and you are rematerialized onto the top of a platform. How's that, Enzo?
I say, good job. And then I look at Azer.
Am I
and
stuck
I say,
there?
I assume
He's holding onto your elbow, so if you try to, he's holding onto it. But you're not stuck there. You can move around.
Can I attempt to break free?
Yes.
Is it strength save or check?
Straight save. Check. Sorry.
It's the same
you already
anyway.
did it. All right. You try to break from a strength, and let me see how that goes. And
Nice.
he successfully is able to hold on to your elbow, despite your attempts at trying to free yourself. He looks back at Enzo and Azer and says, "Are we missing someone?" Oh yeah, he says, "I gotta tell you guys that this isn't gonna work. I don't think."
I look at him dumbfounded and I say, why isn't this going to work? You said it would.
Yes, but you see that one spot? I have to stand there.
I tell him, okay, then you can disappear and reappear at your will. Just reappear onto that stand right now and let's go.
He says, "Okay," and he lets go of Broderick and reappears here.
Sick, I'm jumping off the platform.
I don't have my spell book, do I? God damn it.
No.
Can't do
So nothing
anything.
happens right away when we're on the altar.
No. Kaiser
Okay.
says, "Oh, that's right. We all have to stand on our rightful spots. I belong on the blue one." And he walks over to Malcolm. Malcolm belongs on the white one. Kara, you're in the right spot. And Azer, you belong on the red symbol. Enzo, you belong on the yellow symbol.
Where was the laughter coming from? The south?
It's the south, yes. And Udodoc, you belong on the purple symbol.
Is anyone around us readying for anything here, or are they just fucking nothing?
I'm always ready.
Yeah, we don't have any weapons.
You hear the laughter again, and you hear sprinting, you hear running, and you also hear and you see the clown appear from the south. As he's running past, you see that all the people, kobolds and all that, as he's running past, are becoming stone solid. They become immobile. And you also hear like them yelling out in surprise as this clown is running past them.
And so, get Broderick to the stand. Use force if you have to.
I'm gonna fight your B-bag now at level 4 with the fucking improvised wooden club. Let's do it.
Oh, God.
Kaiser says, "What do I do now?"
Bring him over to us. We'll beat him up. He doesn't have armor, so does he have armor?
I asked Kaiser, what else do we need to make this work besides
We need
Broderick?
Broderick to stand over there.
And will it take us instantly?
It should. What should I do?
I tell him to grab Broderick, put him back on the altar, and reappear onto your stand and get us the hell out of here.
Here, I got a better idea. And he reappears in front of Broderick. Or behind Broderick. Okay, Broderick, are you doing anything right now? Or
I mean, I guess I'll just hit the clown thing again if I can.
yeah, you can.
Okay.
Okay. You hit the clown thing again, this time on the other knee. And the clown goes, "Ow, ow, 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 ow!" And he's holding onto his knee and jumping around in a circle. And he says, "Why you? I'm going to get you!" And he begins to let out a kick at you. That doesn't hit you at all. Oh wait, you don't have armor on. Duh.
Not even without armor. That
Okay.
still doesn't hit me.
Okay. He tries to kick you and instead misses and falls on his butt, and he goes, oh, I've always hated footballs. He's referencing to you.
Can I hit him again?
If you want, yeah. Nope, doesn't hit that time.
No, the 22 was the first one. I just double rolled it by accident.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you hit him, and this time is there anywhere in particular you want to hit him, or?
How did he fall?
He tried to kick you like a football, and he fell on his butt because he missed.
Oh.
Kind of like a Charlie Brown thing.
I don't know. Where's his head in relation to all this?
Let's see, 7 feet. He's about like 5 feet.
All right, I hit the head then. If I can hit his head, I hit his head. Otherwise,
Okay.
I'll just aim for the body or something.
Okay, yes, you can. Okay, so you hit him on the head, and he just kind of has like a dazed look, and you see you see some birds circling around his head, and he has like a sort of dazed look, and his eyes are going all swirly, kind of like they do in cartoons. So this is a little bit odd because this isn't something that's possible through normal people and creatures. At that moment, Kaiser grabs onto you on the back and he says, "I got you." And the world around you rematerializes. This time, you actually rematerialize in the middle of the air, above your platform. You're about like 10-15 feet above your platform. And then Kaiser rematerializes back onto his platform. And then you begin to fall towards the ground. Is there anything you wanna say or do while this is happening?
I mean, is there anything I can do?
I mean, you could say something. I don't know.
I don't really have much to say, so no.
Okay, so you fall onto the platform, and as soon as you touch the platform, everything. It's kind of like you snap your fingers and you're like in this completely new place. And right before you are at the new place, this clown says, you hear the clown begin to say, "I will get all of you a bench," and then you're in this new place right now. You are in the lower right part of the screen.
I look around and I say, "This is the denizen?"
Kaiser looks around and he says, "I believe so."
And what is the denizen?
I'm sorry?
And what is this place?
This is the denizen. The denizen's lair.
What is the denizen?
What is it? The denizen is the being that is located at the core of the planet. This denizen, the denizen has like powers so strong that he was locked away as far away from anyone else, and that anyone that finds a denizen can be granted powers beyond normal comprehension. So he is capable of doing great destruction, and it can also kind of gift you with these powers. Yeah, so that's the bit that you know so far. Let me give you a description of the room. When you land in this room, you land around a large pedestal, or like a large stone platform. And around you, you see that it's a circular room, and there is a very, very large red dragon head, very, very large black dragon head, and a very, very large gold dragon head embedded itself into the walls. The room is about like 100, 200 feet high. It's really, really high up. And these dragon heads are like embedded into the walls about like 50, 70, 80 feet up high onto the walls. You also see like this giant orb floating in the middle of the room, as well as a bunch of hands holding similar looking, smaller, different colored orbs on the ground. You also see You also see a giant claw and a giant hand that are both lying on the floor. And underneath and next to this giant orb that's in the middle, you see a lone feminine figure looking at the orb, looking up at the orb. So that's what you come in on.
Are we still without all our weapons?
Correct.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. Table leg club.
Yeah, he has a table leg and a fairy dragon. So.
Oh, and an improvised shield. Nice.
Oh God, you can use the dragon as a shield. Oh no. Okay, so you come into this room and you hear a voice call out and echoing from all around the room. You hear a voice say, "Well, you're quite here early." It's a girl's voice. "You're here very early. I didn't expect you here for quite a great amount of time longer."
I tell her we've been hearing that a lot. Guess we're ahead of schedule, aren't we?
Yep. Yes, you are.
Mind telling us what we're on schedule for?
You see, you hear the voice say again. "Well, the prophecy, of course. Haven't you gotten that much numbnuts?"
I roll my eyes and say, heard about the prophecy. We don't know what the prophecy is.
I just look at it, so yeah, shop. We get it. Prophesize, heroes. Just get us out of here. I'm tired of this place.
The girl turns around, and you see this girl has pink hair, wearing a maid's outfit, holding an umbrella, and she says, "I'm afraid I can't let you out quite yet, though you will soon, I promise." And she gives a little bit of a giggle.
Okay, what anime are we in right now?
I roll my eyes and I ask her, who are you?
"Oh, me? You know who I am. I'm the denizen."
And I ask, are you on our side?
"I'm on no one's side. I'm of my own free will, and I do what I want when I want. So, I do lend my aid from time to time, and a long time ago I promised I would help mankind when, well, such a time would come when the very fabric of existence might come into question, as is now." And she sits her butt down, pulls out a bucket of something, and starts eating on something. You hear her munching.
By the wizards! What is wrong with people in this place?
Can I leave the pedestal?
You what?
Can I leave this
Yeah, you can
pedestal
leave
thing?
it. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, what's this way? What is this?
That's a hallway.
This thing isn't blocked?
No, it's my bad mapping skills.
Oh,
Yeah, that was.
I mean,
really,
this perfectly fine hallway looks like a good way to go. I'm going to go that way.
Okay, you hear a voice say, "I warn you, you shouldn't go that way without any help." Nom 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 nom.
I look at her and I walk up to her and coyly say, I understand. Need your help. Would you please help us?
Now.
Of course. I said I promised a long time ago that I would. Did you not get that part? I swear, creatures these days are just so absurd. She gets up her butt and she says, "Okay, nice to meet you. My name is Edna." Nom 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 nom. And she reaches out a greasy hand to shake yours.
I hesitantly shake her hand.
And your hand is now covered in grease. Oh, okay. Let me fix that for you.
I also don't have control of this fairy dragon anymore. Okay.
Okay, are all those problems fixed?
Yep.
She twirls around her umbrella, and she looks at you, Enzo, and she says, "You're actually really handsome. Has anyone ever told you that?"
I smile and wink at her and say, no one as beautiful as you.
Oh, stop it! And she gives you like a hard punch in the shoulder.
I hide my wince and I say, so, how can you help us?
Well, reaching into her bucket, she pulls out a big leg of turkey, and she begins eating this meat. She says, "Well, you see those orbs over there?
Well,
I nod, yeah. Go on.
Very simple.
Wando,
What I need you to do is to put
Nueve.
inside one of those orbs something of great value to you."
I look at myself and say, I don't have anything on me. I came here without anything.
Oh, that's right. She claps her hand, and the giant orb immediately crashes down onto the ground, and the entire ground just shakes like an earthquake. It was just earth-shattering. So everyone make a dex save.
I want to grab onto,
And so you fall forward, and you land in her bosom.
yes.
Kara Longbottom, you topple off the platform, and you land on your bum as well. But everyone else, you're fine. You managed to hold your cool. Meanwhile, Edna, she's kind of like, "Oh, Enzo, you haven't even taken me out on dinner, you sly fool!" And she gives you a punch on in the shoulder again, a little harder than last time.
I laugh it off and I say, okay, now what?
Okay, it's very simple. You see this? She touches the orb, and then she says, "Okay, just close your eyes and imagine something that is very, very close to you." She closes her eyes, and you see a bucket of a bowl of fried beef just come out, and she catches it, begins eating on that. Just imagine it. The orb will give it to you.
I imagine my
So you got to be specific.
golden rapier and my crossbow. And crossbow.
Okay, the golden rape and crossbow appear inside, and they're sitting inside. She says, "Okay, I'll reach inside and get it."
I reach inside and grab them.
Broderick, our
Very
gear.
The what?
Broderick, our gear. I scream at him.
All right, now you see those? Simply go to your corresponding orb and offer that to the orb, and the orb will absorb it.
For what?
Yep, everything that you're taking out of this is what you're going to be offering to the orb in order to use. Well, I'll explain it. But first, you need something important to you, which for you, I guess, is this gold rapier and this crossbow. After that, you're going to give these to the orbs, and I'll explain it from there.
I ask her if I can give something else to the orb.
Sure, just put those back.
I ask her if this orb is creating these weapons or if these are
Oh, yep, this is a complete recreation. It's not the actual thing. So if you want to imagine a giant teddy bear with lasers and chainsaws, be my guest. And she's continuing to eat. By the way, what's her name? Oh wait, don't tell me. I already know. It's Enzo, right? Or is it Garzo? I like Garzo better.
I look at her and say, you want to be my date, you're going to have to call me Enzo.
Oh no, Enzo, baby. Let's call you Garzo. And then she looks over at Azer. Ooh! I like you too. You're like a giant fluffy teddy bear. And she comes up to you and gives you a hug.
I would hug her back and start twirling around a little bit.
You twirl her around a little bit.
Who's got the magical bucket right now?
Yep.
Okay. She twirls around and she gives a little bit of a giggle. Yep, just like the teddy bear. All right. Dexterity. Oh no, what's going on? Oh, what'd you say, Kara?
Who's got the magical bucket?
She has a quote unquote magical bucket. She just imagined it and it came to her.
So who's got the magical bucket that can make anything come out of nowhere?
I didn't understand. You cut off.
Who's got the magical bucket that
Bucket?
creates items?
Oh,
it's
it's not a
the
bucket.
orb.
It's the orb, giant orb in the middle.
Oh, that okay.
Yeah. All right. Broderick, the further you go, you begin to feel your lungs constrict, and you start becoming short of breath.
All right, I'm just gonna push on then.
Okay. The Edna looks over at Udodoc and she says, "Ooh, I've always wanted to touch you." And then she goes up. Can I touch your scales, Udodoc?
I'd look at her with this like questioning slash not fearful, not really like angry, but like very defensive stare. I don't say no, but I don't say yes. I just kind of.
She reaches out, regardless, and she begins to stroke your leathery skin, and she's like, "Oh, this is way better than the imagined leather that I could ever come up with." And she begins nuzzling her face against it and putting her greasy hands all up and down your
As
scales.
soon as she tries to touch me with her greasy hand, I just put out my hand and push her away.
Ow! She lands on her butt. You're a meanie, you know that?
And I go back to thinking about the holy symbol.
Okay.
I walk over to Edna and I pick her up and I say, "Don't worry about him. Just stick with me and you'll be fine." I ask her, "Now, what happens when we give these orbs what we want or what we imagined?"
She puts her finger onto her chin, looks up and puts her head back and forth, and she said, "That's a secret."
I ask her, "Can't you just tell me one little secret between us?"
Oh yes, and so I'll tell you one little secret between us. And she comes close to your ear and she whispers something embarrassing about yourself that she knows. And then she goes back and giggles. Yeah, I know about that.
I chuckle uncomfortably and then I say, "Well, I mean, since we're not keeping any secrets between us, right, baby? You should tell us a little bit about these orbs."
Persuasion? Oh, dang, that's natural 20. Okay. She's like, "Oh, okay, Genzi Poo, just for you." She drags you by the hand and takes you towards the nearest orb, which is this one. And then she says, "Look, you see this? Touch it."
I touch it.
You touch it, and you feel an immediate shock go through your body, and your body flies back about 10 feet. She says, "Whoops, I'm sorry, that's Azer's orb. Your orb is somewhere different. Let me see, which one is it? Oh, I know which one it is. It's actually this one." touch it.
I look at her, and I grab her hand, and then I touch the orb.
This time your hand goes through the orb, and your hand is inside the orb. She said, "Yep, this one is yours."
And I ask, what does it do?
Well, after you have given it something, you will activate its ownership onto you, kind of like an imprinting. And then after that, I can begin to explain to you how I can lend my power to you.
Okay. I toss my crossbow and my rapier in.
Okay. You toss your crossbow and the rapier into the and they minimize in size in order to fit inside, and they're both just kind of floating in the middle. And then you see a light shoot out from the orb. This light goes high, goes in every single direction, and melts itself into the ground. And the ground kind of tremors a little bit. Not enough to knock out your feet, but just a slight tremor. Also, Broderick, you're going further now, and I would like to make you a Constitution save, please. All right. You collapse onto the ground, short of breath, and your lungs begin to sear in pain, as if someone had put a red hot iron into your lungs.
Okay.
You feel the movement of the fairy dragon that's within your clothes cease as you collapse onto the ground as well, but you're still conscious. So.
All right, 5 more feet it is.
You're suicidal.
What was that?
He's suicidal.
Vital? What?
Suicidal.
Yeah, right. Okay. And then she says, "Good job, Genzi." And she takes a bite of her beef and walks back.
I tell her, wait, you have to tell me what this does.
Well, it's not complete until everyone does it, but after you put your stuff in there, you pretty much have ownership over that orb.
I try to pick up the orb.
Try to pick up the orb, and it does not budge. She says, "Not yet, silly, till everyone does it."
I walk, remembering the purple platform that I was standing on. I walk over to the purple orb,
Okay.
and I kiss my holy symbol and try and put it in.
You actually don't have any belongings on you, but I'm gonna assume that you got it out of the.
No, that's what I said I said I bow my head and I think about my holy symbol and I reached into the orb and grabbed it.
Oh, okay. I got you now. Okay, so you put that holy symbol into the orb. The symbol condenses itself and shrinks and goes inside the orb.
I walk over to Azer and I tell him, think about the one thing that you want the most right now, and then put it into your orb. And I point to the red orb and say, that one's yours.
Just one? You had 2 things.
I say, you can imagine as many things as you want, but they all have to go into that orb.
Ooh.
If anything, because Malkron isn't here, you put 2 items in, so one of them will count from Malkron's. So we'll go with that. Though it should have been 1, but yeah, your extra item will go for Malkron's count.
I'll
Alright,
imagine
so
my
that's
2
all
short
we got.
swords.
What was that?
Monk first.
Okay, so as much as I want a javelin, I'm actually thinking about it's going to be a very regal set of, it's going to be like a gi, so kind of like what a monk would wear, but with like a purple and gold robe, fist straps, foot wraps, stuff like that. It's going to look just very regal.
I'm not understanding. Sorry, it's kind of cutting in and out for me.
A very regal looking monk suit, essentially, with a robe.
A very regal monk suit.
Yep, with a robe. Purple and gold, of course.
He's wearing he's putting in very fancy robe clothes.
He's putting the golden
Okay.
Dragonborn
fancy,
suit.
okay. I got you. Okay. Alright, well, you see this clothing appear, and then she points, your orb is the red one.
I grab the stuff and I go and I run towards the red one, and I shove both hands through it with the suit in it.
I ask, or I don't ask, do I know